In Hostler 2, you can create beautiful and creative houses, and if you want, you can share them with a community on Mod.io. And a lot of people in the community love to spend their time on unique and unconventional houses created by other players. But what about the houses nobody seems to like? Today I'm going to download one of the lowest rated houses and see what I can do with it. I will pull a house created by another player that is marked as a job. So I went to Mod.io and then sorted them by highest rated. After a good amount of scrolling until the very end, I found this house. At the time I was filming this video, it had a rating of 0% with a ratio of 0 likes and 6 dislikes. And to be fair, there are many projects on Mod.io that have way more dislikes than that. However, most of them have at least 1 like, which pushes their overall rating above 0. So what I'm trying to say here is, while this house was technically the worst rated at the time, that doesn't mean it is the worst house of all houses, if there even is such a thing. So bear that in mind. The first thing I personally find very interesting is the story of the house. In the description there is no background information at all, but the dirt tells its own story about what might have happened here. As you enter the house, you encounter huge footprints, bloody tire marks, and deep scratch marks on the walls. And then there are also huge paw marks in the stairwell. All over the house there are stains that probably depict blood, as well as a lot of graffiti. For me, all of this suggests that this building had been empty for a long time until a werewolf finally took residence here. In a few places, however, the dirt raises more questions than it contributes to the story. For example, how did the werewolf get into the ground floor with the monster truck, and why are the bloody tire tracks only in this room? And what are these oily stains on the outside walls? A good way to push the story a little bit further and to use graffiti in the story would have been to create a scene in which you see scattered spray cans laying next to the graffiti and then mix in a huge blood stain, as if the werewolf had grabbed a graffiti sprayer and eaten them. In my opinion, that was a missed opportunity here. But overall, I think you can sense that the player who created this house has put some thoughts and some effort into it. The story is recognizable, the house feels gloomy and unsettling, and I do appreciate the effort. The minor flaws don't really bother me, so all in all, a good start. Reading through the comments, people mention that the house seems to have a few issues, especially when it comes to budget limits, selling trash items, and some quest requirements that aren't always super clear. And yeah, the quests are definitely where the house has the most room for improvement. After initially touring the house, I started to complete the job quests. My goal was to finish the job with 3 stars, so I used all items, colors and textures as suggested to me. But despite some tricky parts, I was able to complete most of the quests successfully. Even when a wall required me to put a random hole in it, or I had to put tiles on an otherwise painted wall, I still managed to achieve 3 stars in the end. And that's what's important, right? Here are the tasks I completed. I collected various types of junk, sold filthy old furniture, and vacuumed leaves and other small pieces of trash. And there is plenty of graffiti, bloodstains and other stains that need to be cleaned. After that, I painted the walls and changed the flooring. Last step was to buy several items to refurnish the rooms. The basic idea seems to be to transform a dark and eerie place into a bright home. The house has a large, open-plan living area with a huge sofa and another seating area. And the kitchen is colorful with an adjacent dining area. On the second floor there is a fully pink bedroom with purple curtains and a pink children's room. Oh, and there is a large bathroom with a panoramic view from the bathtub. Overall, all the rooms are flooded with light, as there are numerous, mostly floor-to-ceiling windows everywhere. Even though I'm always in for a good pink, I still felt like at this point the house wasn't ready to be finalized with details and, knickknacks. The reason was that the exterior and the interior somehow just weren't gelling. The outside walls were dark, made of natural materials and architecturally rather clean and straightforward. The interior was more of an eclectic Barbie plastic pink, and to bring these two opposites together and make them work, I think that is extremely hard to pull off, especially in a job where people have to figure things out on their own with just very little guidance. I mean, look at what Frankenstein's monster I created here. I'm pretty sure that wasn't exactly what she had in mind. With that said, it might seem like I'm bashing this house, but I'm absolutely not. I think this was the kind of project where you can sense that with just a few little tweaks, this can look awesome. So I take what is already there and adjust it a little bit until I have something that feels more cohesive. Fortunately, there is some tolerance within the requirements for a quest, because to successfully complete a custom job, I do have to use certain items, but I can change the color and the size without any penalty. And it's the same with wall color. I do have to use specific paint buckets, but as long as I stay within the given color range, it counts. And I don't know about you, but most of the time I have no idea what I'm doing, especially in the beginning. So I usually start by basically just throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. I added walls and changed the floor plan and tore them down again. I changed colors and textures and ditched the idea again. And then I also found out that I could move windows without losing quest progress, so I also started moving around windows. At some point I found this picture on Pinterest and thought, that looks good. It has some popping color in it, so it would match the basic idea of the house. I tried it out and I liked it. And once I find something that I can cling on to, I move forward from there. Based on the look of the terrace, I continued with the kitchen. I first had a kitchen in dark purple, which I really liked, but it was too modern and I couldn't get the other furniture to match. It worked in dark brown and it looked really good with natural wood beams. Fortunately, I had a lot of options on the ground floor because I had white wall paint that I could use. That way I could keep the walls neutral and go all colorful with the rest. The master bedroom and children's room, on the other hand, were a little trickier. In the master bedroom, I only had shades of pink to choose from. After trying out pretty much every tone of pink, I decided on a blackberry colored bedroom. I'll be honest, with the children's room I didn't even try to do anything that matched the rest of the house. Because if a child says it wants a pink room, then that room is going to be as pink as it can be. So yeah, this is what this is. And the room where the stairs to the first floor arrive really made my head hurt. The original layout was to have 2 huge windows and it all was just very big and open. I tried countless times to make it work somehow, but no matter what I tried, it just wouldn't feel right. At one point, I built some walls just out of pure desperation, and that finally was something that I liked. And am I the only one? But so many times when I've built something that I like, I take a step back and then I think, it's just a wall. No magic, nothing crazy. How can that have taken me so long to figure out? Anyway, once the room layouts, colors and furniture were done, I began decorating. I really like the end result, but have a look and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, consider to give it a thumbs up or subscribe if you want.